Welcome back to the Artefactors Union. I am your host and foreman, Douglas Scoundrel, as we are working on the Poisoned Storm box for the Arcanists. The elemental keyword. This box contains 6 models, 3 Poison Gamin, and 3 Wind Gamin. We're going to be starting on the Poison Gamin first, and then finishing with the Wind Gamin. Let's take a look at the sprues. This is what we're working with. We've got 3 Poison Gamin on this sprue and 3 Wind Gamin on this sprue. It's a little bit bigger than the Poison Gamin. They are luckily labeled A, B, and C. Although I think if you look at the back of the box, I'm pretty certain that this one is C, this one is B, and this one is A. Now, for the Wind Gamin, I've got this. This is kind of a weird setup. Alright, so the one that is sitting on its tail is going to be this one, C. So up there is C. The middle one is the one down here in the bottom right. That's A on the sprue, and this B will be this one on the sprue. Alright, we started with our Poison Gamin first, and model... we'll just go left to right. Model C. Poison Gamin are pretty straightforward. We'll go ahead and grab the body, put both legs on him, then both arms, and finish with the tail. And for clarification, we have the right arm and the left arm, the right leg and the left leg. First you get yourself the body, and then we will add the right leg. Here it is attached. There's a nice little ridge or bend in the connection point, so pretty hard to get wrong. But let's go ahead and give him a left leg next. Here's the left leg added. I couldn't really close this small gap right here. I think it might just be an issue with the model, not entirely certain. But I really think the important thing you need to get flush is this one in here, and that'll get you the right pose. Anyways, let's give him a right arm. There it is, inserted. My best guess is that there it is attached. It just takes a little bit of gentle prodding to get it in there, but it doesn't look like there's any seam, so it should be pretty nice and obvious that it's in the correct spot. Just ignore the shoulder pad thing poking out that's supposed to be there in your model. That bit's not actually supposed to connect to it. Let's work on the left arm then. There's a left arm. Much like the legs, there's just sort of a ridge in the center of the connection point, which makes it pretty solid and easy to get in there. It just requires a bit more nudging, again, because the bit is small and the model's small. Just gotta be a little cautious. Please don't drop these bits. But 3 of the 4 limbs had similar connection points, with the ridge being in the middle of the part that connects to the model, with the right arm being the exception that just sort of fits into a socket. Let's get his tail on. There's the tail. It's just a peg that goes into that hole in his lower back. I think for all 3 of these models, you could probably use the drip of poison on the tip of the tail as sort of a plum. It's supposed to be pointing directly down towards the ground, so this is about roughly the angle you should be standing on base. First of 6 is done. Our first Poison Gamin. We're going to name him Hebanon. The difficult part of him really is what I'm going to refer to now as 2nd edition little guy syndrome, where he's just a little guy. So all the bits are pretty small, and the connection points are also pretty small. You just gotta be really careful, but there's nothing that was really out of place as far as difficulty goes. Let's move on to the next Poison Gamin. Same as the first, we'll grab the body, and this time we'll do the arms first because they're one piece, and pieces like this sometimes require a bit of shaving, so we'll do this before we do the legs. But we'll have the right leg here, the left leg here, and then we'll do the tail. Oh, hit the camera. Body first, now jam the arms in that hole on the chest. That went in relatively smooth for me, but I made sure and trimmed down where it connected to the sprue really well. Just dry fit before you jam it on there with the cement. Let's do the right leg. Right leg's in. Really check the seam on the butt. That'll really tell you if it's in the right place or not, because there's also some texture on the butt moving onto the leg, and if that lines up, you probably got it in the right spot. Let's give ourselves one more leg. This one wasn't as easy as the right leg. second, just kind of use the butt as a reference for how it's supposed to go on, and obviously at this point, the feet should be flat on the ground. Now let's do the tail. Tail went in, pretty seamless. Not as easy as the previous tail, but again, you'll have no seams, it'll be fine, it'll look good. Poison Gamin number 2, I'm going to call him Iocane. The issue is two things. One, there's a decent amount of connection to the sprue that is in connection points on the bits, which means you got to be very diligent with your shaving. This is probably going to go throughout the box, just quickly looking at the sprue, so just be careful with all the models, not just this one. Also, just an issue with them being small bits and the connection point not having a lot of surface area. You need to wait, for the bits to cure before you move on to the next one, or just be extremely careful, because if, like, I was trying to put the tail on and I nudged a leg out of place, and when I was trying to put the left leg on, I nudged the right leg out of place. It's just a pain. Again, be careful. Let's go to the last one. Just like the first one, body, right leg, right arm, left arm, and then the tail. There is flash where it connects to the sprue right here on the right leg socket. It's going to be a pain. Might want to get a fresh knife head to make sure it's nice and clean. There's our right leg. Again, refer to the butt to make sure it's good angle on the right, and the seam's not there, because I don't know, for all these guys there's been just a tiny gap on the inner thigh, but try not to waste too much time trying to close that up. I really think it's just the butt you need to worry about. Let's give him a left leg. That might have been the nicest leg I've done. That one was just smooth and easy. Okay, right arm. Here it is. There's not really a good socket there. It's just, you know, a patch where it's where the thing is supposed to attach, but putting it on there isn't going to give you the angle you need. However, you just put a bit of glue on each, piece, and then touch it gently. Eventually it'll stick, and then you can nudge it in there, the right angle, the right way, with a knife or tweezers or whatever. That's the angle you're looking for. Let's put the left arm in. Left arm with its angle, it's going to be raised up higher than the right arm. You can see the difference here. Same as before, just get it so it sticks and then nudge it around until it's in the right place for you. Let's do the tail. This one caught me off guard until I re-looked at the render. Was not expecting it to hug the body this much and actually come out front. The connection point isn't really apparent in showing you this, and I actually put it in the wrong way entirely. So don't make the mistake I did, because you're watching this video, you won't, correct? Right? Good. Okay. Moving on. Poison Gamin number 3, we're gonna call him Delta 9. Done. Hardest part, easily the tail. The right arm was a little fiddly getting that into the right spot, but yeah, the tail just threw me for a loop for a second. But now I know, and now you know. Let's get on to the Wind Gamin. Again, here's our sprue. Few more pieces than the Poison Gamin. Should be okay. Just be careful with the tiny connection points. We'll start with Wind Gamin C. This is the one that is balancing on its tail, sort of doing a belly flop. And I'm not at all confident in this order, so it'll probably change. I'm going to grab the body, and then we'll actually shove the face on it first, because I'm just really worried about the feet, and I don't want to mess with the body very much after I put the feet on. Then we'll go ahead and put the legs on each. Figure out if we need to do the tail before or after. Do the arms and the feet. Let's see if I can figure out which one is which. This looks to be the right leg. And then here is the left leg. I'm gonna guess this is the right foot and the left foot. That might change. And we have the right arm and the left arm. But we'll grab the body first. Here's our torso. Now grab that face and slap it on, right where faces go. There's the face. Now let's grab the left leg. I think we'll start with the left leg, which is this one here up top. put that on the butt. I was laying upside down. Technically, it's on the bottom, but this one, the longer one. And there it is, and you kind of see that once we get the two legs and the two butt cheeks together, it should create the connection point for the tail. So let's get the right leg on there. Alright, now that I've taken a look at it, I think we'll actually put the tail on first so that we don't have to navigate it around the feet, which are going to be very easy to nudge out of place. Grab that tail, just put it in the thing there. Then I'm not going to say what... Anyways. Okay, nope, fiddled with it and fiddled with it and fiddled with it and decide that actually it's probably better just to rip that right leg off and put the tail in first. So we'll put the right leg back on, and that should get it into the right place it's supposed to sit. Alright, never mind. We will figure out the tail later. It's pretty darn tricky, so let me do the hard part of lots of dry fitting and complaining, and we'll have an answer later. Let's just go ahead and do the left arm and then the right arm. And reference the render again, he's kind of doing a big old swan dive, so it's going to be poking out this way. There's not an obvious... The connection isn't necessarily obvious, or the angle, I guess. The angle isn't necessarily obvious. Let's do the right arm now. There's the right arm. Let that cure, because it's going to get displaced pretty darn easily. Left foot, right foot, left foot. Goes on relatively easy, just gonna be easy to displace too. Alright, tore off the right leg, because this is going to take a little bit of explaining, but I got it figured out. So, initially I thought the connection point for the leg was on top here, because there is a groove there. That is not the case. It is actually going in here because the leg needs to actually be pointed further down than the left leg. What is up here is where the tail will connect, besides the, butthole. So I'm going to add the leg here first, show that to you, then put the leg back on the model, and then we'll do the tail. Okay, this is what it looks like on the outside. And if we go from the top down, you can actually see both where the tail connects on the sort of thigh, and then there's also a groove on the foot where the tail will also connect. We got it figured out. Well, the foot fell right off trying to get that in there, so we took the foot off, just jammed the thigh on here. Now I think the smartest play would actually be to put the leg on and then glue, the tail on, and then glue the foot after it. So we'll give that a shot. Okay, it's kind of ugly because all the fiddling kind of mushed the soft plastic, but it's on there and it's in the right spot. Let's add that last foot on there. Oh my god, it went on so nicely. Hooray. Alright, let's get on to base. Okay, Win Gamin 1 is done. Sorry for all the camera shake. I need a better camera stand. We're gonna call him Sirocco. And yeah, he was a major pain in the butt. One of the hardest, if not the hardest model I've had to assemble on this series. I've actually assembled him before years and years ago. I forgot how difficult this was. So, what I think the order should be, now that I've had it, think about it. Grab the body, put the face on. Face ain't gonna go anywhere. Might as well just get out of the way. You do the left leg, and yeah, the left foot, then the right leg, the tail, the right foot, and then both of the arms. I think that's the order you would go with. This is one of the, I guess, rare cases on here where I'd like to do it again. If someone has this model out there, send it to me and I will try and splice it into this video and do a better job. But it's done, and I'm pretty certain that is exactly how it's supposed to go. So let's just forget this guy and move on to the next one. Thankfully, this gentleman is going to be a bit easier, and I realize I moved my lamp. Let's get a little bit more light on here. There we go. Yeah, this guy's going to be a lot easier, thankfully. Let's grab the body, again slap the face on. We'll do the left leg and then the right leg. Make sure to cut this bit off. And left arm, right arm? Yeah, let's try that. There's the torso. Be careful and thorough trimming this down. Just kind of a sucky way it's connected to the sprue. Let's do the face. And be careful and thorough, trimming out this bit right here where it was connected to the sprue in between the ears. Face. Now we're gonna go and jam the left leg in this nice hole down here. Here it is attached, not the most intuitive angle, but just reference the render and check the butt for your seams. Let's do the right leg now. Here's our right leg, and in all honesty, I did not have a good time with this. No matter what I did, I couldn't quite resolve all the gaps if I looked around all the parts of the model, so I have settled with what looks the best from the back because, you know, he's hunched over, you're not really going to see the gap in the inner thigh, and that's the angle I ended up with. Let's give him a right arm now. Right arm at the right angle. A lot easier on the right leg. Now let's add the left arm. There we go. Only took a little bit of cautious fiddling, and it's in. He's done. Finished with our second wind gamin. We're going to call this one Chinook. Hardest part was figuring out the right leg / tail, and exactly how to put him on the base. A lot easier than the previous one. Let's finish this up. Our last model in the box. Wind Gamin 3, or B, I guess. We'll grab the body, and we'll actually work our way down from the top. So we'll put the face on the top of the head, and actually, no, scratch that completely. Grab the body, put the face and the head on, so we'll do that step. Then we'll do the legs, the left leg, right leg, and then the feet for each. Not sure which is which quite yet. And then once we're done, we'll put the arm on and slap the extra bits of the tail onto the tail. This bit right here fell off the sprue. I believe we went right there. We'll get it sorted. Sorry, this piece right there actually goes on the back of the elbow there. Here we got the body. Top of the head should be smoothed down with your knife. Now let's do the face, which contains the ears, which is this bit right there. There it is. Now let's add the top of the head. Took a little bit of squishing, but that went on. So we're done with the head. Let's do the left leg. There's our left leg from the bottom. No real seams, just needs a little bit of fiddling, get that angle right. Let's do the right leg before we figure out which foot is where. There it is. Be mildly careful because that kind of looks like it can just go straight back like the left leg, but it does not. It is the one he is standing on, so it needs to be going forward. Let's figure out our feet. So this one is more flattened out than this one, so this will be our right foot because he's standing on it. Since this is straight, it's got to be our left foot. So we'll do right foot and then left foot. So that went on surprisingly easily. Let's grab the tail and put the tail feathers on the tail first, and then we'll put it in the hole. Here's our tail, and you can see the connection point at the end there. There it is, with the appropriate bit on. Let's just jam it in the butt. And if any of you were wondering, yes, I am in fact an adult, but mostly due to a technicality. Let's add the feathers on the back of the arm there. Okay, yeah, tail was way too much in the way. Do this before you do the tail. That's what we're looking at for the bit. Let's do the right arm and get him done. And the arm goes in fairly smooth. Alright, to vent some frustration, I decided to base him in a weird way, but it works because he can fly, so, yeah, good enough for me. He looks nice. We're going to call him Mistral. The most difficult part was, I guess figuring out which foot went where. Oh yeah, the left elbow feathers if you put the tail on first. Don't do that. Put the feathers on first and then the tail. Yeah, we're done. There we have it, the Poisoned Storm box, all done. 3 Poison Gamin, 3 Wind Gamin. And really, I think you all know what the hardest part of this was. Yep, the Wind Gamin floating on his tail, doing a swan dive type thing. This guy right here. What a jerk. But yep, I believe I got through the headache of it, and if you follow my instructions, you probably won't suffer as much as I did. But other than that, they're just little guys, got tiny connection points and tiny bits. And you really gotta let stuff cure or be super careful, or both, unless you are okay with just constantly nudging bits out of place and then having to put them back. But that's my advice for you. I have been your foreman, Douglas Scoundrels. helping you build a better Malifaux.